There are two different stories told about this same land, two different histories, almost as if there were two Egypts. This ancient land has always partaken of a dual nature. The public face of Egypt is known the world over and told in every history book. But there is another side of Egypt that is not so widely known. Egypt is also a land of secrets. Another history, a secret history, tells of Egypt as the inheritor of deep wisdom and magical ability from an even earlier culture. It is the account of the Egyptians themselves. This alternate history is echoed by parallel accounts from the myth and history of other ancient cultures, as well as myriad secret societies and occult sources. The remarkable number of parallels in these stories provides a unique window into this other Egypt. Egypt as the keeper of secrets, the land of riddles, the birthplace of magic, and the home of the mystery schools. We will see the ancient mysteries through a decoding lens, a cipher that brings the lost magic to life and returns to humanity the teachings and magic of our ancestors.
I think it would be possible to say that Egypt regarded the entire universe as a gigantic act of magic, the transformation of consciousness into the material universe.
A mysterious land of riddles, whose secrets were considered the highest prize to some of the greatest minds in history. Egypt was known to the ancient world as a repository of high knowledge and magical practices. These universal secrets were contained and kept alive in the mystery schools. The teachings and magical ability they imparted were held in the highest secrecy and reverence. Entrance to the temples that held the secrets was tightly restricted. They were the domain of royalty, priests, and privileged initiates. Forefathers of modern thought, such as Pythagoras, Plato, and others, tell of waiting more than 20 years preparing before acceptance into the mystery schools. The secret teachings were known as esoteric or occult or symbolist teachings, and were held to contain the secrets of the universe and the keys to great magic.
The mystery tradition has been with us as long as there is a record of humanity. The difference between the secret as it is expounded within the mystery traditions and the way it is expounded within this film is that in the mystery tradition, it is the development of the soul and the attainment of higher consciousness that is the one and only aim that the aspirant or the disciple or the student should be aiming at. Anything that is other than that is a waste of time and actually a negation of the secret itself. So yes, but the secret has been around forever. Of course, it's a matter of directed intention. But Newton was not after Alexis, and neither was Imhotep, the designer of Saqqara, or any of the other seriously and genuinely developed people from time immemorial.
Hermeticism and the writings from the Hermetica were held to be the Western retelling of the wisdom from the mystery schools.
The mystery schools are, all of them, without exception, directed toward the acquisition of a higher level of consciousness. Understand. My own background is, of course, the Gurdjieff work, which does not require an ashram or a monastery, and in fact, deliberately sets those of us who have decided to take this particular tortuous path directly in the madhouse itself. It's a system designed to be carried out within the lunatic asylum of the 20th and 21st century. Alchemy is a very interesting allegory for, let's say, for the path, for the secret. It begins with lead, the materia prima, in other words, the first matter, which is probably not to be understood, at least in its psychological sense as physical lead. It is physical lead in the alchemist's laboratory, but basically it represents the complex of, let's say, the complex of psychological or soul forces that comprise us. If I say, who are you, Joe or Jim or Sarah or whatever, you don't think of your body as such, you think of everything that makes you you. It's that has to be transmuted through the alchemical process, the inner alchemical process as well as the outer alchemical process, into gold. I mean, everybody knows that alchemy, the idea of alchemy is to change lead into gold, and that should be taken both literally, because that's what the alchemists started off with, lead, but a little bit of gold. According to Gurdjieff, you cannot turn lead into gold unless you already have a little bit of gold. That's the attraction. Let's say the attraction of, or the understanding, the inkling, the intuition that we're more than just material beings, that we have the possibility of arriving at a different conscious state. Of course, the gold is, again, a metaphor for a higher level, and one of the reasons gold is chosen is that it is eternal, in the sense that it reacts with nothing. It is itself immutable, it's forever, and so the objective of alchemy is to turn, let's say, the lead, which represents the material world, into the gold that is eternal and yet within the material world. Of course, as written absolutely in Egypt, particularly eloquently and formally, is the whole idea of eternal life. Like the gold we achieve, if we have done our work to perfection, we achieve a level of consciousness, the body dies, the lead disappears, it's transmuted into gold, and our name, the Pharaoh's name, lives forever. It means that his individuality has achieved a state, call it cosmic consciousness, and that is the objective